Just like every other segment of society, there's a broad spectrum of different personality types in the UFO community. And this Nightcap article from the 70s does a good job of encapsulating those differences. We start off on the far right, where people believe that UFOs are just hoaxes and misidentifications, and further study would be pointless. Back then, and still to this day, this group includes the Air Force. It also includes Carl Sagan, who I think could be replaced by Neil deGrasse Tyson. This group also includes Edward Condon, who wrote the Condon Report, which was an orchestrated hit piece on the UFO subject by trying to squash any interest in it, and still to this day impacts the conversation with ridicule and stigma for even looking into the subject. And the current personality that I think could replace Condon would have to be Mick West. But don't get me wrong, because I do believe Mick is a valuable member of the UFO community. Next we go to the moderate right, who believe that UFOs are unexplained phenomena, possibly extraterrestrial in nature, and that rigorous scientific research is needed to best explain them. At the time this was published, J. Allen Hynek was the perfect example of this personality type, who was famous for Project Blue Book. And today I believe it would take Avi Loeb and Lou Elizondo to fill his shoes. Just to the left of center we find Stanton Freeman, and let's face it, there's no replacing Stanton Freeman. Next we go to the moderate left, who believe that UFOs are real phenomena and most likely extraterrestrial in origin. They also believe that additional research is needed, but only to confirm what is already obvious. And the modern version of this position would be Richard Dolan. But back in the 70s, Donald Keyhoe was probably the person that fit that bill the best. And based on the following Keyhoe had at the time, I would have to compare him most closely to Stephen Greer. Then things get interesting when we get to the far left, who believe UFOs are strange phenomena, likely relating to psychic or mystical experiences, and that research is needed, but not necessarily the scientific version. Even back then, they had Jacques Vallée in this category, and he's still there today. They also put contactees in this group, and I think that Ralph Blumenthal is probably the biggest advocate for contactees at the moment. That takes us to Ivan T. Sanderson and his incredible book, Invisible Residents. That's really made me start to think outside of the box in regards to the phenomenon, and will make you think differently as well. And I think Grant Cameron is currently filling the niche that Sanderson created. And on the far, far left, they named John Keel, who was the author of the Mothman Prophecies. And I can't think of a single person that would be able to fill his shoes. Well, I was wondering if you guys have any suggestions. Thanks for watching.